So hello. Okay. I'm going to explain a few things here. The thing is regarding Attack on Titan. Okay. As I have seen a lot of people talking about it, that Eren, the protagonist of the series, is now the antagonist. Okay. First of all, I'm just going to start from here. Okay. I'm not going to waste your time here. So first of all, let's begin with the one thing. No, an antagonist cannot be a protagonist. That's not how it works. To better understand, you have to understand the concept of what exactly the protagonist and the antagonist means. The protagonist is the one that actually is the center point of the storyline that has been told to us. So, and protagonist is the center point of the storyline, and the antagonist is the one that actually is standing opposing to protagonist. So you can call the antagonist villain as well. However, you have to understand this one part. This is quite crucial part about it. No, and a protagonist is not. There is literally no way to say that a protagonist should be a good person and antagonist should be a evil person. No, that's not how it works. Antagonist doesn't mean a villain, a evil guy. Yeah, it does mean villain because he's standing opposing to the hero, which can be whatever the story wants to say. But antagonist does not mean evil. One of the best examples I think is in anime world, which is Death Note. In Death Note, like Yagami, he is the protagonist of the storyline. However, he is the one who is evil within the storyline, while the opposing side is L, and he is the antagonist because he is standing opposing to the protagonist. Okay, so understand this part of it, that no, antagonist and protagonist means that, first of all, it doesn't mean a good or bad. It doesn't justify that. It doesn't work like that. Protagonist means is the center point of the storyline. The character is the center point of the storyline. Meanwhile, antagonist means the one who is standing opposing to him. Whether it's just good, whether it's just bad, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't apply on that. So if there is this guy who changes his ideas, like in Attack on Titan, first few seasons, Armored Titan, Berthold, and everyone, basically the Titan one, were the antagonists of storyline, antagonists of Attack on Titan, while Eren was protagonist. Okay, so the story goes on, and something happened in which Eren became the bad guy. Okay, so in that, no, that's not how it works. Even if Eren becomes bad guy, that does not mean he is antagonist now. No, it means that now the one, because if you ask my personal opinion, the principal villain of the storyline, the first two seasons, the principal antagonist, like the principal antagonist is the one who is the largest one, who is the main principal of everything of what is going on, and the larger villain, the ultimate villain, something like that, like Madara in Naruto. Above that, you know what I'm trying to say, but Madara in Naruto, you will get what I'm trying to say, right? You are getting what I'm trying to say. So yeah, that's how it works. So Zeke was actually principal antagonist of Attack on Titan. However, as Eren sided with Zeke, so it means now Zeke is not the antagonist anymore. Rather, he's just a second character, basically side character, not second character, but side character. My bad, but side character. So you see, this means that the antagonists are the one who is standing opposite to him. So yeah, I will still say that it's Reiner, and to update that form in which the Reiner and the others were the bad guys, now the opposing side is Armin, Mikasa. Mostly I will say one of the best ones, Mikasa and Armin, and the group of those people, because they are opposing Eren and they will oppose Eren, right? So it does not mean that Eren is antagonist. It means the antagonist of the storyline is the one Armin, Reiner, Mikasa, everyone who is standing against Eren. So a story can have a lot of antagonists, but only one protagonist. Okay? So yeah. However, in my opinion, I think Ymir is the principal antagonist of whole Attack on Titan, but you will get what I'm trying to say. So yeah, this is how it works. So that's all. Okay, now if you want to say that if there is exceptions, yeah, there are exceptions. I think there are only 3 exceptions in my opinion. One is a personality disorder. I think that is the only one of the few one in which you can say, yeah, the character now is being, deluded by himself. If the reason Moon Knight is coming, and I think you will get the better picture of what I'm trying to say. In which if you have personality disorder, in which the character is fighting himself, yeah, so you can say, yeah, he is the protagonist and he is the antagonist. But still, it has different sides of it, right? It has different characters of it. There is still line of that. So it's not exactly antagonist, but you can say he is the antagonist of the storyline. Second one comes upon if the main character is not the main character anymore, if the protagonist is not the main point of the story, it's not the center point of the storyline anymore. So yeah, that's how also it works. If basically one of the best example is Boruto in Naruto, right? Basically Boruto and Naruto relationship. As Naruto came in Boruto, so he became side character. He's not the main character of the storyline anymore. He's basically not the center point of the storyline. Yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. It has whole stuff going on within it, and it has like layers of it, and they just cannot dispose of the character rightfully because it has the legacy of that. Like Naruto has the legacy of himself, right? So just writers cannot dispose of him suddenly or instantly. So they are still using him as counterpart to basically attract audience who actually read Boruto because of Naruto. Okay, so yeah. And the last one, I think, is the time paradox concept. Okay, this is a complicated one. As I said, the protagonist and the antagonist cannot be same, right? So a lot of people argue on the point where they say that, you see, the character's ideal have been changed. So his past self, basically Eren ideas exactly, his past self was basically, his whole idea was to dispose every single Titan, right? But as the stories goes by, he disposed every single of humanity. Basically, he wants to dispose of every humanity, every single being of humanity. So, you see, in that, it's kind of complicated, but I wouldn't say that, yeah, that is the protagonist and antagonist part, because many people argue on that point and saying that antagonist and protagonist can be same person if they are literally going against the ideal that they have been created. No, it doesn't work like that. If the character idea change, antagonist change, basically the center point of the storyline will be Eren, right? You just cannot say that Eren is the main character anymore, no, because he is the main character of the storyline. Okay, so yeah, it doesn't work like that. That is not a valid conversation. However, it can work in some, crappy situation. If you have watched a movie named Predestination, you will know that exactly the main character of the storyline, the protagonist of the storyline, is actually the antagonist of the storyline as well. As it has the whole paradox going on, time paradox. And it has villain, which is the main character. Like if Flash came around, so just think about it. There is the future Flash and there is this past Flash, and they came around at some point and fight each other. So you can say, yeah, he's the protagonist, the Flash is the protagonist and the antagonist. You can say that. You can basically say that aloud. However, as I said, it also has some layers to it. It's not exactly the protagonist, that person is the antagonist, right? It has layers of it that something happened in the future and that's why the future became different and this and that. So yeah, it has layers of it, but it's also not exactly saying the protagonist is an antagonist. Because I can say it, you can say it, yeah. Flash is the protagonist and the antagonist of the story. And no one would say anything. But in Eren case, not exactly like that, right? So yeah, there are only 3 exceptions at that part. One, if the main character becomes the side character. Second, if it has the time paradox power, something full scrap is going on. Or third, if a character had a personality disorder. And those 3 are the only possibility in which you can say, yes, a main character can be basically the protagonist can be the antagonist of the storyline. So see, this is the only part of what I'm trying to say. So please understand that part, that Eren is not an antagonist. Eren is just a protagonist whose ideal is different from what he had before. So that doesn't change anything. It just means the same thing. It means the same thing. Nothing above, nothing more, nothing less. So that's all. Okay? So don't think that Eren is the antagonist. Eren can be bad guy at this point. Eren is a villain to many people at this part. He's a bad guy. He's a bad, villain, or you can say a guy who just wants to destroy everything and bull crap. So yeah, you can talk on that part. But obviously, saying that Eren is the antagonist of the storyline is not a valid conversation at all, and it's not good to say at all, because somehow people make the mind of them just saying that Eren is the protagonist and the antagonist. No, it's not. It does not work like that. The concept of protagonist and antagonist is quite different, quite unique. You just cannot say that, okay? So that's all, yeah. I just want to say this aloud.